Welcome everybody to Game 4. Finally, Dbmb versus Korean Army. Dbmb up 2-1. Factions have switched again for Game 4. If Korean Army wins this, it will go to a semifinal ace game. It's currently Soviets in the northwest of Faymanville Approach. Again, just Faymanville Approach and Kolodny Ferma seem to be the maps of choice for these two players. Dbmb playing as Soviets, Korean Army playing as Oster, who has Jaeger armor in his loadout, and Dbmb has counterattack, but other than that, no changes. No significant changes, and I'm expecting close air support against guard motor. But I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. Two squads of conscripts from Dbmb, two grenadiers from Korean Army. Combat engineers stepped out of the capture circle? What? Doesn't look like they did. Oops. Kind of a weird misclick right there. Pyos throwing up barbed wire over here. This is very common behavior. Grenadiers making their way mostly north. He's going to try and set up a strong position here in the north, which means these combat engineers will be able to take this area unopposed. Dbmb always uses this capping order. Boom, boom, boom. Then munitions, then backpedaling. He doesn't skip past the initial strategic points the way Korean Park does, interestingly enough. He plays more of the resource game. Sandbag fighting position going up here. Pyos jumping into this building. Grenadiers are moving into close range to engage these conscripts right here. Conscripts flanking around the north to take control of this fuel point. And MG42 is making its way north. Grenadiers working on those suppressed conscripts. They're going to have to probably retreat. MG repositioning ever so slightly. Korean Army trying to hold the line here. Forced retreat with that squad of Pyos. Grenadiers will take building control there. This squad of Grenadiers doesn't want to leave the capture circle, trying to get that fuel back in. MG42 is repositioned to shut down those Urine conscripts, though. Dbmb continues to slowly take control of territory over here with his combat engineers, backpedaling to get that now. There goes another squad of conscripts, or no, that's the first forced retreat. First retreat right there. Dbmb will retreat first, which should give Korean Army a bit of an advantage in this engagement. Conscripts reposition to green cover, throw down a ghost, although that's kind of awkwardly placed. Grenadiers are moving around the right flank anyway, and at this range, with superior numbers against a squad with that low health, should easily win. Tier 1 from Dbmb, and he's going to throw an M3 on the field. And Korean Army is going to go with 4th squad of Grenadier before teching up. MG42 repositioning into some green cover over here, trying to push away that flamethrower. And there's the M3, ferries a squad of conscripts up to engage these grenadiers right here. They're gonna have to reposition a little bit away from the M3, backpedaling back towards this direction. Grenadiers inside of the house. M3's gonna get in a little close to those two Grenadier squads. I don't know if he should do that. He's just asking to get double Panzerfausted. There's one, there's two. I think that's a dead M3. Double Faust, M3 goes down. It does cost 50 munitions, but I don't know if I think that was a very good play by Dbmb right there. Unless he was intentionally trying to drain Korean Army's munitions, who he currently does not hold a single munitions point. just trying to strangle his munitions a little bit. It also gave him the CPs he needed for guards, so guards are on their way to the battlefield. There's one retreat from Korean Army, his first one, I think. Grenadiers continue to try to hold the line inside of this building. Grenadiers jumping into close range against those conscripts should be able to force them from cover and take control of this munitions point. There they go, and there's an MG42 available here to protect. Pio squad has made its way towards the cutoff to see if it can do anything, and that retreating Grand squad might move to get that territory in the south under control as well. He knows his opponent went tier 1, so I guess there's potentially the threat of another M3, but kind of unlikely. Those Grands definitely have to retreat. Retreat! Fortunately, no PTRS shots went off. MG42 making its way towards the center. Turns north to engage those flamethrower Pios.
Enemy is taking our territory.
Grenadiers jump inside this building. Grenadiers moving right to engage conscripts, which are throwing up cover here in the north. And guards have also set up in green cover on the VP. Flamethrower moving to engage these Grenadiers.
We are losing a sector.
As well. And I think those Grenadiers will be able to stick around for a little bit longer. Guard motor obviously has been selected. Korean Army at 2 CPs. Korean Army always waits. He always waits quite a while before he selects his next command, or before he selects his commander. I don't think I've ever seen him pick before 2 CPs. But I guess there's not really any huge rush as Ostherr. As Soviets, you generally feel like you need to pick a commander by 2 CPs. Korean Army really struggling though. He's getting pushed completely back into his base just by conscripts and guards setting up in green cover all over the map. Even with a 4 Grenadier opening, he doesn't seem to have enough infantry to win engagements. Even against a tier 1 opening when he did manage to shut down the M3, although he does find an opening to head left with these 2 squads of Grenadiers and start getting territory captured over here on the right side. Guards with PTRSs fire on some infantry over there. That's forced to retreat. The MG42 is going to reposition back to safety just a little bit. Pio's heading south to try and get a little bit more territory under control. Still no commander selection at 3 CPs, 8 minutes into the game. He's 100 victory points behind. Struggling for map control, but we saw him come back from this situation with close air support before against US forces. Curious to see if he can do the same against guard motor coordination Soviets.
We have new resources available. Reconnaissance Stuka, fueled and ready to fly.
One squad of Grenadiers forced to retreat right there. MG42 setting up to fire on those flamethrowers. Will jump into the house, taking heavy damage in the attempt, but that MG is in flamethrower range. Just gonna try and brute force the flamethrower out with mortar support. Korean Army has fielded a mortar, which on this map should perform pretty well. Pretty similar to Kolodny Ferma. Hopefully this mortar will do better than Dbmb's mortar did, which over the course of an entire game only managed about 8 kills, I think. A second flamethrower right there, probably going to be forced to retreat. Dbmb going hard on infantry, just spamming guards in sandbags, which is going to make the north extremely difficult to retake. Probably why Korean Army was prompted into going mortar, try and force his opponent from those green cover sandbag positions. But Dbmb is setting up an extremely aggressive base lock on Korean Army right now. He's really struggling to get clear of it. There's a demo charge right there from Dbmb as well, but I don't know if Korean Army is going to have another opportunity to extend that far. No minesweeper on his Pios yet. MG42 firing on some infantry right here. Grenadiers need to protect the right flank somehow. More Grenadiers available over here, but this engagement doesn't look like it's winnable. MG will be forced to retreat, and Dbmb just has the whole map under his control, pushing Korean Army off everywhere. 3 flamethrowers, I think. Yeah, 3rd flamethrower on its way, 2 guards and 3 conscripts. The sheer quantity. Thank you, Oak. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for your $5 donation. I hope you're enjoying the tournament.
We are losing a sector.
But this sheer quantity of Soviet infantry, Korean Army doesn't seem to quite have enough to counter. He's going to need a lot. He needs basically 2 LMG Grens to beat 1 guard squad, and especially if they're already positioned in cover for his advance, which they will be. Or a ton of rifle grenades, or some ability to destroy green cover.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
The Korean Army is now completely base locked. Doesn't have a single sector under his control, and this game is looking like a sweep. If Dbmb can maintain this aggressive containment for the rest of the game, that's going to be the series. Korean Army, this is his last chance. Flamethrower pile blob gets caught in the red cover road right there a little bit. MG42 working on conscripts here. Korean Army might find an opening to try and push Dbmb back right now. No Molotov. Oh yeah, he does have Molotov. What are they waiting for? Okay. Conscripts just died. I don't know what that was all about. Free squad wipe for Korean Army. Maybe he can use that to wriggle his way out of this situation somehow. He's 200 victory points behind, slowly starting to take territory here in the north back unopposed, while these flamethrowers backpedal all the way to the Soviet base. I don't know. I don't know what I think about that series of engagements. Dbmb looked like, I don't know, he got a little flustered or slipped up or something. Just kind of soft retreating back to his base. Now working his way north, and Korean Army is taking almost the whole map unopposed. I thought Dbmb like had this game in the bag, and suddenly I'm not so sure what is even happening. Please turn the music down or off. I guess I can turn the music down. Is it that loud? Sure. Sure, I'll adjust the volume for $1. I'm not above that. Conscripts and guard rifles engaging Pios here on the victory point, and Korean Army has finally got the victory point slightly under his control 13 minutes into the game.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Grenadiers working the south unopposed. These 2 squads making their way center. Korean Army currently has building... Ooh. What was that? Was that 2 flares? 2 flares. Okay. Interesting. Grenadiers... Oh no! Retreat over a mine! I think that's going to be a wipe. That looks like a wipe. Yep. Nice wipe right there. Nice mine. That squad continues working the south. And this Grenadier squad might get wiped too. That could be catastrophic. If they retreat over that demo charge, they're pretty screwed.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
Anti-infantry strafe here on the cutoff to try and push away those guards and conscripts, so that's close air support chosen. Is that flamethrower gonna get wiped? Kind of a late retreat right there. Kind of a late retreat. There's the wipe. Well, at least if those Grenadiers get wiped on the demo charge on the retreat, they'll have traded. Guards try and dodge the demo, or dodge the rifle grenade. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was gonna seal the deal or not. Guards might be able to recover that. No, they can't, because they've already upgraded with DPs. They don't have any free weapon slots. Whoa, that grenade! That's 2 Grenadiers! Oh man, this game has been really lethal. Fortunately, Korean Army has most map control, so we can afford maybe 1 extra wipe right now, having also inflicted a wipe. He might have enough wriggle room to get out a fresh Grenadier squad. I don't know. I don't think that's the game lost. That's just bad that he lost a Gren squad on a demo charge and then another one on that grenade. That was pretty painful. Grenadier squad there has to retreat. Grenadiers taking up a position inside this building.
We are losing a sector.
Is that another wipe? No, flamethrower gets away this time. I wasn't so sure there for a second. Korean Army needs to throw a minesweeper out at some point to avoid any more demo charge wipes, if possible. He's lost one squad on a mine, one squad on a demo charge, and one squad to a grenade, so minesweeper could potentially negate some further squad wipes if he can squeeze it out. Should have plenty of munitions now that he's close air support. Just went redistribute resources right there, but he needs to get some more LMGs purchased. He lost 2, which is kind of a lot of LMGs to lose. I'm struggling a little bit. That squad's got to retreat right there. Both squads retreating. Korean Army not triple capped right now, but the clock is ticking against him. He has a somewhat limited amount of time. With which to manage his current situation, and Dbmb surprisingly did not go tier 3. I would have thought that was a no-brainer, but I guess against close air support he doesn't trust it and he'd rather just go straight for Collins or maybe just spam more guards. He has made 3 squads of guards, which is clearly proving difficult for Korean Army to deal with. Redistribute resources will fill his grenadiers. Back up with LMGs though. All squads have LMGs. Late retreat on that squad, but they'll be fine thanks to an anti-infantry strafe, forcing a retreat right there. Maybe Korean Army can take advantage of that mass retreat to get a little territory back and try and slow the VP drain. A little bit early on the AT gun. I think he probably could have just made more grenadiers. He wanted to protect himself from the possibility of tier 3, I assume. That AT gun has no real job to do right now other than maybe destroying green cover positions. It's not really contributing much. It's going to slow the triple cap here in the middle, with Grenadiers taking the central VP. And these 2 squads of Grenadiers are making their way south to try and push away that squad of guards.
How can we help? Resistance! Taking fire!
Mortar bombarding the house. LMG Grenadiers trying to brute force those guards out of there with only 2 east-facing windows. They'll win this eventually, especially with mortar support. Guards taking heavy damage. Will only be able to stall for so long. Another engagement for the center. Flamethrower inside this building, taking MG42 fire. Repositions back out of the building. Guards falling low, have to reposition as well. That squad of Grenadiers retreats. And Korean Army still losing VPs. He really needs to try and maybe get the north. He's going to do a really wide flank around that squad of conscripts to go for the munitions, I guess. He won't be able to get the VP or the fuel with that conscript squad protecting. He's just going to harass the territory. There's the call-ins. T-3485s have arrived, and Korean Army will have to protect himself against those. Going in pretty hard. No teller mines from Korean Army. You had to spend a lot on replacing LMGs. Panzerfaust to slow that one down. That Grenadier squad gets out of the house. He's probably going to have to make a full retreat from the south away from those tanks. One squad sticks around for a little while, maybe try and get a shot with the AT gun, but he decides to just fully disengage and get out of there. AT gun's a little vulnerable right now. Anti-infantry strafe on those conscripts will suppress them so that this 2-man Pio squad can try and win this engagement and force that retreat. I don't know if a 2-man Pio squad's enough though. Conscripts throw a Molotov, force the Pios away, and a triple cap against Korean Army will continue. It's not looking too good. He's really struggling right now. Rifle grenade and mortar will prompt a retreat from those guards. MG42 moves up into green cover here to force away the guards in the center.
Available at your directive.
2 AT guns making their way north to try and capitalize on this opportunity. LMG Grenadiers putting pressure on the flamethrower squad there. Second Panzerfaust to delay engine repairs while the AT gun maybe gets into position. Maybe he can't squeeze through there, I'm not sure. It looks like it's having to path around. Or no, he just wants to set it up in green cover here. Doesn't quite have vision on the T-34. which will expose itself to the AT gun. I don't know if those Grenadiers and AT gun can hold this. Maybe. T-34 stuck around in front of that AT gun for a while. I'm not sure it's going to survive this. Trying around the corner, AT gun's going to reposition to safety. He doesn't want to risk his AT gun. He's trying to make a play for the center VP to slow down the clock again. Almost all of Korean Army's forces heading north, except for what he bare bones thinks he probably need to hold this position. Mortar forces a retreat right there. Continues to bombard those guards. The engagement happening up here for the north. We'll see one squad of guards retreating, and KA may be able to get this VP under control, but there's a demo charge right there, and he's upgrading with a flamethrower instead of a minesweeper. I think that's a dead Pio squad. I don't know if Dbmb has vision of that. No, he doesn't. Not quite. So he's not going to take the risk and detonate that demo charge. Despite that being a perfect opportunity, he's not going to gamble on it. Freshly repaired T-34 makes its way up here. Panzerfaust on it. Damages the engine. AT gun trying to get back to a safe distance to engage. Guards and flamethrower moving up to this area. Anti-tank strafe. I don't know what direction that's coming in from. That's kind of a slow dodge. Okay, pretty good dodge, although he does detonate a flamethrower, so that was pretty good. That T-34 desperately needs repairs. His AT strafe plane might have actually given him vision of that almost dead T-34. If Korean Army can just maybe snipe one or two of these tanks, it might open up a little bit of room for him to come back. He does get victory point control back during these engagements. LMG Grenadiers doing well against conscripts in the center. Have actually been able to take quite a bit of territory back. That squad's going to have to retreat right there. A big blob is making its way towards that strategic point to try to push Korean Army off the map and keep the clock ticking against him. Anti-infantry strafe punishes that blob, though. That gets sent right back into the base. Korean Army will continue his advance across the left with that one lone Grenadier squad, and somehow he seems to be taking map control back despite a horrible early game. Wow.
Guard squad ready.
Mortar bombarding blind right there. For the first time in 23 minutes, it's totally quiet. Grenadiers go straight for the VP and try and equalize the clock as quickly as they can. He's worried more about the VP clock than about anything else at this point. I think a Game 5 is a very real possibility this series. These players are very evenly matched.
We are losing supplies to the enemy. Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Dbmb spreads out a little bit here in the north. Korean Army setting up defenses here in the south. They're just trading territory right now. Korean Army pretty comfortable losing the north VP, having the center and south. It's no big deal. Clock will continue to tick against Dbmb. He's going to slide down below 400 victory points now. T-34s have both been fully repaired and are about to make another push for the south. One AT gun set up right there. The other AT gun here in the middle. They're both Vet 1, so he's got plenty of access to target weak point. Decent amount of munitions reserves for Panzerfausts. T-34 85's going way south.
New anti-tank gun has arrived. The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
S-minefield going down here. And we're going to probably see a push from multiple directions by infantry in conjunction with a push by these tanks very soon. This could be a very decisive engagement depending on how it goes. Mortar's trying to soften up infantry from range while it has an opportunity. Look at this surround he's setting up.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Wow. Mortar bombarding these infantry, half track and flame, or no, T-34 and flamethrowers peeking a little bit here in the south. AT guns are set up for that T-34. That's gonna have to pull away. It's sticking around for a little long, but most AT gun shots there miss. There's a third AT gun from Korean Army now as well. Recon pass coming over the Soviet base. Not sure what he's looking for. Just wants to know the movements of those tanks, I guess. No big push at all by Dbmb. Anti-tank strafe and Stuka dive bomb coming in on the base right now on this full retreat. That wasn't that bad. It blew up a flamethrower. Oh, the flamethrower popped and he's standing in the fire. Oh no! Move! Oh, he doesn't even realize that happened. He's gonna lose both. Oh man, that was scary. Thought he was gonna lose both for sure. Anti-tank strafe on the tanks and the Stuka dive bomb wipes one flamethrower. That could have been worse. Simultaneous push over here on the right side. AT guns repositioning a little. Mortar bombarding the conscripts. LMG guns wipe the squad. How is this happening? How does Korean Army do this? Up against a 3-guard massive infantry opening, suddenly this big cutoff. He's got the whole map. Like, Dbmb has not that much infantry remaining. I know that Oster is like late strong with close air support, but still, that looked like an unwinnable game to me. He didn't have a single sector. Now I have no idea what's going to happen. There's a second set of T-34s on the field. I'm not saying it's GG by any means. I'm just saying it's now anybody's game from a game that I thought was over for sure. I really did. Here come these two tanks. AT gun set up, gets a shot off. Guards are falling so dangerously low. No target weak point yet. All 4 T-34s coming in from the same angle of attack. Could be a dangerous thing to do. Two more AT guns set up here in the back. Those T-34s look like they want to go hard on the base. There's one AT gun cleared. He does have access to anti-tank strafe very soon. 17 more seconds. He's trying to destroy these T-34s. If all AT guns get cleared, this could be GG. He doesn't have any Panzer Shreks. That's the biggest problem right now. He has no Shreks. And it looks like he might lose all of his AT guns. If that happens, that will be catastrophic. Big, huge push by Dbmb. Korean Park was not ready for it. Was very not ready for it. He absolutely has to get that AT gun back into his base and under his control. All tanks have engine damage. He dumped so much on Panzerfaust that he can't afford the AT strafe, though. I think that was overzealous. On the Panzerfausts, I don't know what's gonna happen. He needs more munitions for a big AT strafe. He needs to turn this engagement around. He needs one AT gun, just one AT gun in a good position. I don't know. He does. A full squad of guards did get wipes during that engagement, so Korean Park has a huge infantry advantage. He just needs to deal with these tanks. He didn't have any Teller mines and he didn't have any Panzer Shreks. Those T-34s didn't even approach from multiple directions. They just dove straight through the middle in a straight line. They all have engine damage. But Dbmb has 330 munitions. Here comes the anti-tank strafe. That little slow repairs. Dbmb with 330 munitions will be able to self-repair all of those. That's going to be an easy wipe. that fire though doesn't crit anything, fortunately. There's one AT gun on the field for Korean Army. He is going to struggle to come back from this situation, I think. But fortunately, he has huge map control because Dbmb doesn't have that much infantry left right now, and repairs are going to be slow and expensive. Well, slow or expensive. Anti-infantry strafe on the guards to force that retreat. One Grenadier squad also retreats, and LMG Grens are making their way towards the center to get the VP back, and there is a triple cap going against Dbmb even after that huge push, because he has no choice but to pull back for repairs, even though he was able to clear almost all AT guns. I think he destroyed them all. No, he didn't even destroy this! Oh my god, I can't believe he wouldn't destroy that. Korean Park is going to get to recover that for free. Recon pass on the Soviet base. Doesn't currently have enough for a dive bomb. He just wants to know what's going on. just taking a peek. And he's about to have so much map control. In an engagement that I thought was devastating, Dbmb is just pulling all the way back because he doesn't want to lose his tanks, and they all have engine damage. So I think I overestimated the impact of that push. I thought that was a disastrous push, but he's getting pushed all the way back into his base by one AT gun. There's another one here that Korean Park has not even recovered, but he could. He could. Triple cap going against Dbmb right now, and it looks like he's trapped in his base. I don't know why he's not throwing self-repair on these. He's got the munitions for it. It's kind of strange. I mean, it's going to take forever to execute repairs on these if he doesn't. It's kind of weird that he's not self-repairing. I don't understand that. Maybe he's too afraid that the anti-tank guns will get in range? I don't know. Stuka dive bomb just got dropped on the HQ. I think. Either the HQ or some tanks or something. I don't even know where that's gonna land. Move, your infantry! Okay, it's over there. Okay, phew. That was on the HQ for sure. One T-34 has been repaired. Still no self-repairs at all. Korean Park's fielding a new AT gun and has not recruited this one, and he's making a full retreat. He's too scared of those tanks, I guess. But this triple cap is going for a long time. Wow, what a weird game. And there's a ceasefire once again.
We are losing a sector.
Dbmb somewhat timidly making his way out of his base.
We fight bravely for the Reich.
Slowly advancing towards the North VP. MG42 moving to counter this advance. 2 Grenadier squads defending center, and a bunker defending south. Nice. I like that. That'll shut down lone squad harassment. Might force one retreat, and forcing one retreat is pretty good value as close air support when things are this down to the wire. That alone would probably be worth it, honestly. LNG Grenadiers move to engage from the right flank. MG42 is not setting up in the cover, it's just standing there. Maybe... I don't even know. I don't even know. Now it has no cover, it should probably get out of there. Anti-tank strafe forces that T-34 to reposition. It does very minor damage. Grenadiers have yet to hit that demo charge. Hopefully Korean Park will at least spread himself out a little. And not lose 2 squads on that demo. Maybe we won't lose anything on that demo. 1 AT gun set up for those 2 T-34s right there. All 4 T-34s have been repaired. And this time Korean Army has a lot more munitions in the bank. Looks like that demo charge isn't going to work. Grenadiers have to pull away to safety. One damaged engine, receiving some repairs here in the south. And the 2 T-34s will move to destroy this bunker, which I think did force one squad to retreat earlier on the mini-map.
New anti-tank gun has arrived. The enemy is taking our territory.
6 grens, 3 packs. As long as he can get engine damage on those T-34s in front of AT guns, whether it's with Teller mines, Fausts, whatever it is, he can manage the threat they pose and potentially anti-tank strafe them as well. Big push down the central road with these 3 tanks. That squad might get wiped. That is a late retreat. He really just wants to throw engine damage on there, even though it costs him that squad. I don't know if that was worth it. Anti-tank strafe will be ready in 25 seconds. It's kind of a long time, but 2 of the tanks have engine damage, so that's pretty good. Grenadiers engaging over here on the left side. Losing against PTRS's have to retreat. Anti-infantry strafe to protect those grens on their retreat path. Will not pin that squad, though. Nobody has recovered that AT gun. 2 T-34s pulled back for some repairs. One's already been fully repaired. Korea Park losing VPs again, but the game is now dead even, 137 to 121. Again, if Dbmb takes this game, he takes the series, so Korean Park cannot make any mistakes. DBMB has a little bit of wriggle room. Korea Park does not. He absolutely must win this game to stay in the tournament. T-34 makes its way here, takes engine damage, is gonna probably go down. There it is, third AT gun takes the shot, T-34 down. A third set of T-34s may be arriving soon. Squad of Grenadiers almost gets wiped right there. Very, very near miss. But a triple cap is going against Korea Park. He really needs to slow that down. All three AT guns are moving center with knowledge that those T-34s have pulled back to the base. Dive bomb a little off target there in the base. Doesn't even wipe that squad. Not very good value out of that, but he's just cranking it all into munitions. He has tons of munitions. He's limited almost only by cooldowns rather than munitions at this point because he's got 400 in the bank. Slowing the triple cap, he is about 50 points behind, which is a lot when it's coming down to the wire this much. There's still a demo charge on the north VP, nothing being sent to the south. Korean Army will slow the clock, but not turn it against his opponent yet. AT gun set up right there to engage that T-34 in the middle. And it looks like one tank is going to all three fronts right now. DBMB spreading himself out a lot. That AT gun just exposed itself to a flamethrower. Anti-infantry strafe to protect. Panzerfaust on the T-34 to damage the engine. AT gun needs to circle around the other flank. This T-34 engaging from the south flank. Those AT guns have not reacted yet. Here comes the Panzerfaust in rotation of the AT gun. Oh no, destroyed engine. That T-34 may very well be dead. 5% chance of that crit. That is not good for DBMB. He doesn't need that bad RNG right now. He needs to win these engagements. That's probably a dead T-34, unless he can get a miracle. Yep, Bed 2 T-34 dead. So that engine crit, bad RNG, just awful RNG for DBMB right there. That really sucks. That really sucks that just happened. Grenadiers need to retreat from this engagement. There they go. MG-34 continues to protect the center, and the victory point clock is completely stopped.
Attempting to steal our sector. Grenade! Grenade! To the last fucking flank!
Stuka dive bomb coming in on the point will force those squads from the capture circle, while LMG Grenadiers try and just kill that Soviet infantry. There goes one retreat. Clock is completely stopped. All 3 points are whited right now. All 3 points. Here in the south, a fresh squad of Grenadiers is capping. Nothing working the north, and here in the center, almost all of Korean Army's forces are trying to push DBMB away and look like they will be successful. No third set of T-34s yet because he's bleeding quite a bit of manpower, and I think that's a fresh squad of guards that he's fielded. So he's spending his manpower on more guards, which I guess he finds more valuable than tanks. Kind of needs both though. AT gun is available in the south, no target weak point. He can't win that with one AT gun solo unless he gets some form of miracle. That AT gun's gonna get cleared again, I think. There it goes. These two AT guns are trying to move to support. That squad of guards has to retreat. Grenadiers working to cut off. Here in the north, 3 Pios trying to get control of this VP. The clock is still ticking against DBMB, but slowly, and he still has a pretty significant 50-point lead. T-34 going in on the MG-42 right there. Which is ignoring it. Nope, never mind. He will react. Guards getting laser beamed by Grenadiers. Clock will not stop, will not tick against the Korean Army here unless the center falls, which it might. Man, this map is just chaos. Look at all the flashing sectors. This could be a wipe on the flamethrower and the tanks shooting at that Grenadier squad.
The territory is out of contact.
Nope, they get away. Get away by some miracle. Oh, big anti-tank strafe right there. Big anti-tank strafe. That could be a dead tank. The clock is ticking against Korean Army. Slowly, he's trying to retake control of the south VP. Gets it under his control. Center VP is about to be Soviet again. North VP uncontested by Korean Army for quite some time. And that's going to be a wipe. Didn't react quite in time. Grenadier squad goes down. He immediately starts replacing it. Anti-infantry strafe pushes these guards back into the base. 2 T-34s repairing. Dbmb has a little bit of extra manpower float right now. He's, I think, going to try and get that third set of tanks out. More LMG Grins trying to make their way towards the center and get those victory points. 60 victory points remaining. The clock is ticking against Korean Army again.
The new Grenadier squad is ready.
MG42 pins down those guards. There's a grenade. LMG Grenadiers trying to push away that squad of guards. They should win this. The clock is stopped. 50 points and the clock is stopped. Dbmb is pretty much back in his base for healing, reinforcement, and repairs right now.
Upgrade complete.
Finally, order from the chaos. This half of the map is red, this half of the map is blue, and cut off. Everything makes sense. Recon pass coming over the Soviet base. There's a Stuka dive bomb on something. I don't even know where he dropped that. Probably on the repairing tank, I guess. He'll probably dodge that in time, assuming he hears it coming, or he'll just sit there. Okay, 2 dead combat engineer squads. How do you miss that recon pass dive bomb? How? How do you not dodge that, Dbmb? Please. Engagement happening for the south. AT gun is set up. 1 squad of grenadiers is set up. Anti-infantry strafe to force the infantry to retreat. Maybe. He's not going to retreat. He's going to stick around. Those LMG grenadier squads have to pick a squad to keep pinned. Meanwhile, up here, the T-34 is destroyed by an aggressive maneuver by that AT gun, and there's now only 1 T-34 remaining on this battlefield, and it's taking damage from that AT gun, which has to now reposition. Those guards got unpinned. Korean Army will work the cutoff again. Dbmb not fielding any fresh conscripts or guards because he needs to start floating for that third set. He really wants to have tanks, although the loss of this one, AFK under a Stuka dive bomb,
We have a fresh Grenadier squad.
hurts a lot.
This is ours. I think we have the enemy is taking our territory. We're dying here.
Grenadiers push away those guards.
Enemy forces
Gets a
are securing our
PTRS.
The enemy has broken our supply lines.
On that Grenadier squad. The clock is ticking against Korean Army again, and finally we will have an attempt for the north. He has to magically dodge that demo charge, and it looks like he's not even going to try for this point. Going straight for the VP right now. 50 points remaining as he takes control of the south, and the center is falling into Soviet hands. There's a recon pass, and he will see the third set of T-34s hitting the field, and hopefully he'll react accordingly. He's got 1 AT gun here, 1 repositioning a little bit there in the center. LMG Grenadiers probably saw that demo charge getting planted, I hope. 1 T-34 heads this direction, 1 T-34 heading up here to push away that squad of Grens. No, don't step on that! Oh no, that's such a wipe. That is such a wipe, I think. There it is, wiped.
Infantry squad has been killed.
Panzerfaust here in the south from that Grenadier squad damages 1 T-34 engine. These 2 guards working the center. Anti-tank strafe in the north destroys that T-34. Wow, how did that even happen? He must have Fausted it. He must have Fausted that. Grenadiers are going to lose this though. The clock is not currently ticking up against Korean Army, but it will be when the north falls into those conscripts' hands. I don't know. I don't know if Korean Army can win this or not. Dbmb has maintained a solid 50-point lead for the last several minutes, and it doesn't seem to be changing.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines. They're killing my crew.
Grenade decrews this MG42, but the guards are going to retreat back to the base.
We are losing a sector.
Korean Army's resources are stretched to their limits. He has no munitions and no fuel and no income as he works to retake control of this cutoff. Trying to slow down the VPs here in the center with Grenadiers. Fresh squad of Grenadiers. I don't even want to look at squad wipes. Okay, I'll look really quick.
Enemy forces are securing.
9 Grenadier squads wiped. Holy crap. And for DBMB, just a bunch of stuff, a bunch of random stuff wiped, and 4 dead T-34s. Grenadiers working the center. The left side is falling, though. Only 37 points left for Korean Army. He needs to execute so perfectly from this point forward. I think he's a little frazzled. He knows if he doesn't pull off a miracle this game, he's out of the tournament. He's got the center heading north. There goes that conscript squad right there.
Engineer standing by. Supply sector under attack.
Grenadiers taking control of this strategic point. Soviets are cut off in the north. Grenadiers moving for the point. There's no demo charge. Whoa. That scared me. I'm so on edge. That flare. I was like, whoa, what was that? No, what's gonna happen? Flare gives DBMB vision of those Grens. I don't know. Oh. Gets the point decapped before retreating away from those guards, and the squad looks like it's going to survive. AT gun, 2 squads of Grens going north. Try to get this point under control. Oh, the desperation. The desperation is so real. I don't think Korean Army can take this game, though. I don't think he can. I don't think he has enough stuff left. His resources are all exhausted. Oh my god, he just walked over a demo charge with 2 Grenadier squads. Oh, I can't believe DBMB didn't detonate that. He must not have seen. Here comes a push for the middle. If Korean Park loses this point, that's it. That's GG. And he cannot fail in his attempt for the north either. There's a rifle grenade on those guards. Minor damage. The engagement for the center is going poorly. T-34 circle strafing AT gun right there. MG cannot force this retreat or pin any of the infantry. The attempt for the center, the north VP has failed. It has failed. That's a dead Grenadier squad. And that's it. That's definitely GG. Wow. That game was incredible. 46 minutes of just crazy VP juggling by Korean Army, off to a bad start. Could not make the comeback. Well played by DBMB. DBMB will advance to the finals, and that means that the finals are going to be DBMB versus GIAP. GG.